All right, let's go ahead and get started tonight. So I had a couple of ideas for things I wanted to try. I have been doing some stuff with Laravel and WordPress. Was one of the things I wanted to take a look at, but I think the first thing I'd like to do is take a look at Psalm. I had been trying to do some performance-related things with Psalm a while back, and I'd really like to see if I can get that working again. So in order to do that, I'm going to run into my DeFi dev project. So I'd actually been doing some stuff here. So we'll run DeFi dev Psalm. We're going to have to run Blackfire with this, and so that's going to make things a little more complicated, I think. My main issue here is that with Psalm running under Docker, it is an extremely slow boot process. So I want to see if there's anything that I can do, at least on my Mac here, to improve performance a bit on Docker environments. So at least if I have an idea of what the application is doing while it's running, I think that'll help me. Here. Yeah, as you can see, this actually takes a considerable amount of time, and it's not really... Oh! Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I was running Psalm that whole time, and nobody could see it, so... Good time for me to be a noob, I guess. Alright, so it actually ran. It took 45 seconds and used 326 megabytes of memory, which, you know, I guess it isn't all that bad, but I don't actually know if I believe that time. That seemed a lot longer than 45 seconds. And this DeFi dev Psalm command is actually an alias. So I don't know if I can actually time it. So I'm going to try and run it like this. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to do time date. Yeah, so worst case scenario, we can do some simple math to see if this... Oh, see, that time it booted really quickly to scanning files, and I don't know what that's about. It's possible it has to do with the cache, but I'd actually done a bunch of things to try to avoid doing anything with cache, because cache was causing me a lot of issues. So this, I would almost guess, is going to take 45 seconds. This part of it, I can totally see that taking 45 seconds. Okay, 40 seconds, but 19, 29, 40, 19, 30, and 20. Oh, I guess it's kind of close. But yeah, the time command did not actually work correctly. So let's do Zeesh time command alias is I think I looked this up one time too, and it didn't look like it was trivial to actually do. Wonder. didn't work. If I can find a way to actually run command here. See. Okay, so let's try that. Oh. All right, so it's all right. All right, so we do have the ability now to run that. So let's see if I can do my aliases. No. All right. Yay, I found some spam in chat, and I don't really know how to get rid of that. See if I can get some action on there. Yay, banned. Cool. All right, well, there's that. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to do something super quick here. Let's do... Okay, I guess I can't. None of them are actually finding it, so never mind. I'm not going to worry about that. So I am actually running Psalm with no cache automatically. Hey, Supernova. Nice to see you. New viewer who dis. Awesome. Alright, so yeah, it's really jumping into scanning files super quickly now. So I don't know what the deal was there. Let me try clear cache and clear global cache. Alright, so that went really fast. Maybe this isn't even going to be an issue anymore. Wow. How you doing tonight, Supernova? I mean, it's still slow. I mean, it's still slower than I'd like it to be, but not altogether bad. Alright, check took 42 seconds. Try it one more time. I think while that's running, sounds like Supernova is waiting to play some Xbox. Are you saying your Xbox is shiny and new, or the games are shiny and new, or both? Alright, that took 41 seconds again, so I think that seems pretty stable. Let me see here. I'm going to check which modules are loaded. The Blackfire is enabled. I want to see if it is. Yeah, it's enabled too. Interesting. So I don't know what's changed in this environment since the last time I played with it. But Psalm used to be really slow. Let me see what happens if I run on something like one specific file. Unless that's not how it's supposed to be run. Interesting. So Supernova saying the Xbox is shiny and new. Nice. Get the 1S or the 1X or what, I don't even remember what the names are. I know they came out with 2 different versions. Wow, so that took 40 seconds to essentially analyze one file. And I think this is actually the problem that I've been experiencing in PHP Storm. Where one second here, make sure I'm not exposing anything I shouldn't be. Okay. All right, so I think that if I look at my interesting, well, that's fun. I'm trying to do something where my screen is actually not what people are seeing exactly, and this is not going to work, but that's all right. So I think I actually disabled Psalm because things weren't working the way they needed to. So I have Psalm validation disabled. I enable it. Alright, so I'm going to do configuration, PHP via Docker Compose, validate. Okay, so Psalm's actually working. Process timeout is 60 seconds. But the problem that I was having before... weak warning, okay. Problem that I was having before is when I was actually in a PHP file, if I made a change and Psalm had to run to class I think something like that should make Psalm unhappy. And it's not. And I think that it's... Oh, wait, no, that's... Sorry. Wow. Of course that's not going to work. Right, let's look in here. Got bit by looking at the wrong sort of thing. So sales notifiable. This is complaining, unused parameter. I remove this. I think this should give Psalm a hard time, or rather, Psalm should be unhappy about that. And the problem that happens is Psalm takes too long to run, so then we start getting little warnings and error bubbles from PHP Storm because Psalm is trying to run every time a change is made, and it never finishes, so it starts to complain. And we can actually see that happening here. So there's something about this that if there's no cache, Supernova says your linting tools run faster if you just don't run them. Yeah. Well, I can't tell a difference here between. It looks like it takes just as long to run on one file as it does all, which I suppose makes sense because, sure, why not? In theory, it needs to make sure that everything is working. So this might be because I have the cache disabled. Because if I have the cache disabled, let's see, that still didn't find an error. Let me read. To change my error level to something that's just gonna be awful. I really want Psalm to give me a problem here. Honestly, with how hard of a time I sometimes have getting Psalm to work, it's frustrating when I can't make it fail. Okay, cool. So that actually gave us some errors, which it should have. So, what did it actually complain about? Missing property type. So this is all stuff that's on sales notifiable, as it should be. Let's actually run Psalm. Make sure it's enabled. That should be there. Which leads me to believe it's probably having the problem that I'm thinking it will. I've wanted to figure out how to see background tasks. Maybe that's what I want to see. Oh. Psalm missing param type. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's see if we can figure out how how long this takes for Psalm now to kick in and say this is no longer a problem. I'm guessing we're going to magically see this. And working with these quality tools has been kind of annoying, especially with Docker, because I have no idea what they're doing in the background. I can't see the process of it running. I can't see the actual command it's trying to execute. None of that. Oh, so there it was. Now Psalm thinks it's okay. So clearly Psalm is trying to take a lot longer than it needs to. And we can see that behavior happening here as well. So I'm going to try and I'm going to try to turn off no cache and see if that has a big impact here. All right. So this should actually be running with actual cache at this point. So as we can see this time, it's taking a fair amount of time to even get to the point where it starts scanning. Yeah. Okay, so now it's scanning files. It's probably still going to take like 40 seconds or something along those lines. Okay, and it found an error. Awesome. All right, so one error found. All right, now I'm going to run it again. Okay, so it took a little longer before it hit the scanning files, and I think that hit's probably from trying to load the cache into memory. But it's still taking like this whole time. Well, okay, so that one was in about half the time. It still seems pretty slow. Yeah, it's still taking 20 seconds to actually run this command. So let's go ahead and try Blackfire at this point. So let's do... Alright, so I think this is all we need. So we're going to run command line under Blackfire. We're going to run Psalm with just the specific file we're looking for. And so this is probably going to take a long time to run. Unfortunately. So what I want to do is... Let's make sure I'm not doing something super wrong here. So we'll do... Difficult, check all files regardless of whether they change. I think while we're waiting for this, seconds. I think this, I was actually looking at this one. back in December because I was getting tired of these issues. And let's see, it's still open, so it's see people talking about using diff. So in Psalm 4, diff is turned on by default, so I'm not doing anything weird here. Yeah, so when we run this under Blackfire, it's really going to slow things down a bit. But hopefully we'll get a nice bit of information from that to try and make this better. I'm working. Let's see what this person says. Okay. Without diff, with diff, whole caching is running. I'm not actually having that issue because I'm not on Windows. I get all sorts of other fun things, but not that. Okay, so we have it took 3 minutes under Blackfire, which is not going to be fun if we have to do this a lot. Okay, so okay, so 7 seconds IO wait, 2 full minutes, almost 3 full minutes CPU time. PHP 7 do parse. $34 seconds, that's not too bad. Scan file. Block parsing. A gigabyte of memory. Yes, this is for unserialized. 753 calls though. Serialized, not unserialized. 2,800. Huh. Class like storage, file storage provider. So I also want to run another profile without specifying a file. Try to see if I can figure out what's different. Ninja Girl says, my son and I just come up with our new tagline. I don't know if I should ask. They must be checking this out from outside the office. Yeah, so apparently the new tagline for my website should be, is your website sus? Don't be a nub, hire me, because I'm OP. So it would appear that I have a gamer for a son and a gamer for a wife, which is awesome. That, I think I can make that website. Maybe I'll do that later tonight, just for fun. See if I can get Psalm to do some really nasty things in here. So again, I'm making all of these changes, and it's going to take a long time for... Pale Ale says ship it. Awesome. It's going to take a while for Psalm to register that either of these things are done. And I'm starting to wonder if... I should see if there's an updated version of Psalm before I spend much more time on this. I was also thinking it could be something with an older version of PHP, or it could be something that happened between PHP 7.4 and PHP 8, but Psalm behaves a little differently now. Yeah, so this is still sitting here thinking my CPU utilization is probably a lot higher now, so it's going to take a little bit longer as Blackfire is crunching away at the same time as PHP Storm trying to execute these things. The other annoying thing is that this is super fast with just native PHP 8. Ah, see, there it is. So it took that long for Psalm to be able to register that there was going to be an error here. And if I undo it again, it's probably going to be another minute before it fixes it. So this is definitely a problem. But yeah, let's see what this looks like when Psalm is running locally. By default. Local. Be sure I have local. Validated just to make sure. Yeah, that came back super fast. All right, so let's. So this still says this is broken from earlier. Let's see here. Probably completely confused now. I'm actually going to restart PHP Storm. Oh. Because I have no idea what state it was in, because it was trying to do something with Psalm from earlier. This way it's just going to be exactly what it needs to be. Before I do that, I'm going to double check though, make sure it's using local. Yeah, it's using local. Okay. I should double check what local looks like. Actually. Huh, local isn't listed. PHP 8. That's weird. Duration. Interpreter. Okay, that went fast. Alright, so let's just try it like this. Alright, so this is complaining because missing param type. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to remove this and see how long Psalm takes to come back. That was a lot faster. Still wasn't perfect, but I am happy that it still takes a little while for Psalm to run. Let's see. Oh, PHP. Okay, so that's running on everything. Oh, let's see. Ran the whole thing in 9 seconds. This isn't too bad at all. Then we'll do sales notifiable. Yep. Let's see. Okay, so this problem is what happens when that's what happens when multiple places are dealing with the Psalm cache. So this would be another candidate for something to fix, which is why I was doing with no cache in the past, because, yeah, something between, I'm not even sure if it was Docker or just the fact that PHP Storm was doing its own thing. We'll do clear cache, clear global cache, and now run the whole thing. Before we get too far along, I want to get... Oh, I guess we're too far. No, not yet. Almost. I want to get the new Blackfire profile we ran. Okay, so 130 errors. Oh, it's still getting that. Interesting. Oh, okay, so I'm going to delete this. This may be a different issue entirely than what I was thinking. Do no cache for the whole project. It's acting like every time I've run Psalm with a different configuration, it's giving me that class error. And so 9 seconds. It still seems like a really long time to me. One file versus the whole project. It just doesn't seem... Alright. Let's go check Blackfire again. One we just did. Oh, okay, status code 1. I guess that's what we would have expected. Okay, so the new one. Actually run a diff on these. Alright, so we swapped these two calls. It did result in an additional 14 seconds of IO wait. So that's annoying. Huh. Alright, so let's do... I'll make sure I remember what the difference was between those. Ah, so it was running on one versus the whole project. So let's try these again with no cache, with the local PHP 8. Well, actually, before we do, let's do local PHP 7 for... if it has any... Oh, those are detected issues. Alright, well that is annoying. One second here, I need to... I need to use my credentials here. Never mind. Okay, so... I guess what I could do is probably create a new project that doesn't have the PHP 7.4 or PHP 8 restriction. I'm gonna double check here what the appropriate constraint is. Wow, so Psalm actually did get a sizable bump. I wonder if that's because I intentionally... No? Let's go take a look at packages and see when this stuff happened. .441 was on January 14th. 440 was January 13th. It's always fun. 432 was 1229. So what was I? I think I was 431. No, I was 432. Okay. This is where I was. So there has been 2 releases since then. Let's see if anything runs better or worse now. I'm going to try PHP 7.4 and see if this works. Interesting. Laravel. On Laravel plugin. One 4.2 supports 7.3 and 8. Why is it not working? Let me see if PHP 8 works.
Strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction.
Okay, so PHP 8 works. There's something about 7 that didn't work then. Unless Vimeo Psalm is now PHP. No, it's not PHP 8 only either. Alright, well, let's see. How long did this take to run? 9 seconds, so that didn't really change anything. I'm going to try running it with cache. Which the first time I'm guessing there's going to be a hit. But yeah, 12 seconds.
Strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me. I'll find something to escape.
I did see some people saying that the diff actually mattered. Even though it shouldn't. Wow. That's fast. as this indexing is done, I'm going to start playing around to see if that's how fast comes back in PHP Storm. Really? See, this is the problem. With cache enabled, as soon as this happens in multiple places, it starts to become an issue. And I think that PHP Storm actually probably crashed. Its version of Psalm did the same thing, and now this version is, which is why we never got feedback on this one. Oh, well, then it worked fine. Yeah, we're not getting any Psalm response here. It's not giving us any feedback on this. Just to see, sales notifiable, this should be class storage, class storage. All right, so now I'm going to do if this picks up. There. Okay, so finally picked up Psalm. This is still looking like it's running on the slower end of things. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. 9 seconds-ish. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to clear the global cache. I want to run an individual file and then run the individual file again and see if that's slow. And then maybe see if we can track down how the path is different if files are specified. Yeah, because it's still taking 6.17 seconds. I almost wonder if we could trick PHP Storm into just running the whole thing. I wonder what that would do. Okay, so let's hack. This will be fun. Why can't it open the file? Actually, let me copy it. Okay, so it's actually running PHP fire once. Yeah, so that's all good. So let's do dir. Dir Vimeo. There's probably way easier ways to have done this at this point. Okay. So this is going to give us the ability to see what arguments are being passed. We look at what Psalm actually looks like. It's looking at what options. argv. Go ahead and our okay. And let's so this is sort of reverse engineering what PHP Storm is doing to figure this stuff out. Because I don't know otherwise exactly what command options it's using and whatnot. So let's do file. Actually, let's do this. Getting late enough at night that I need to do more code intel here. So it's a file, put content, and all right. So in theory, command so it's okay because it did some sort of screen gobbledygook thing, which is awesome. Let's see what it actually did. Ooh. So we do have command for PHP Storm, so let's do . All right, so all it was looking for was dash dash version. All right. And so it interpreted the output and determined it was okay. So let's go ahead now and go back into sales notifiable and break it. And it should still take 10 seconds to figure out what's going on. But we can now see exactly the kind of output we're getting. Okay. So output check style, it's specifying the psalm, monochrome, private var folders. Huh. That's interesting. I think in theory, I want to see what this check style output looks like, because I really think we can speed this up incredibly. If we can get it to only why is it? Okay. Yeah, so that's fast. On repeated calls. Why wasn't this? Huh. Gotta say, I'm not really digging Psalm at this point. I know that it's like super popular, but this is just really weird to me. Behaves differently in weird places and for weird reasons, and like for the life of me, I can't figure out why in one case this is fast after the first run. Look at that. Yet this version, not so much. And I shouldn't blame anybody if Earth is not working as expected. It's a very complex piece of software, but it's just trying to work at it from the outside is difficult. All right, so repeated calls, are these going to be faster? No, they aren't. Wow. All right, so I think we need to actually look at Psalm and figure out what's going on here, because there appears to be a huge difference between where things are, how fast something runs depending on the state of the cache, whether it's going to be fast or whether it even works at all, which seems ridiculous to me, because it should either work or not, unless it's doing something really strange. Unless it's doing something really strange with the cache. Something like get CWD, cannot locate root directory. All right, so I'm going to we're going to do a fresh composer install. And then we are going to do a tree of vendor, run Psalm, and do another tree on vendor to see if we can figure out where it's storing stuff. Possible there's two different algorithms for determining the type of cache or the location of the cache that are in conflict with each other. That in some cases it works like you'd expect, where it doesn't matter which way you call it, and then some other part of it that does care. That's the only thing I can think of. But if we can actually see where it lives, that would be a huge help. Let's see. 3. Oh. Also possible this has something to do with the Laravel plugin. Suppose I could. I'm gonna have to try to remember to do something about that sooner rather than later. Don't want to leave this specific path I'm on just yet. Alright, now we're going to run Psalm. does that even mean? And then it works. Yay. All right, so before and after. I think that's actually. Huh. Okay. So let's do. Get global cache directory. Cache directories, get cache directory, global cache. How are these set? Directory to store the PHP parser caches. All project caches. Oh. Oh. All right. What is baster? Ow. Alright. I'm gonna have to sit for a minute. Okay, so this is fun. So we are getting a cache directory that is based on getting a cache directory based on something up here. So it's I'm sure there are people out there who would say you should be using Xdebug for this, but not going to do that now because I can't learn right now. So from XML, and change this as casting it as a string. I feel like there's something wrong with my CPU. Oh, I guess not. So from XML, from XDG, actually, if I switch these around, this would be better. That's what we're setting here. Sys. And then this is essentially global. And then all right. All right, so it's actually storing it in tilde.cache. Let's see if we can figure out what baster is. So this is probably the problem. We need to look to see. There's probably something stored in global cacher that is specific to the PHP running. And if that's the case, that totally explains why there's a conflict sometimes. Let's see what's in here. No, there isn't anything else in there. Huh. All right, so then the real trick is what happens when we run under binbo. They have the same cache directories in global cache. config. Wonder if that's a different. Oh, those are the same. It is interesting though, because why are there more than one of these? Probably like, what? Global cache directory. Move cache directory.
Drinking Kool-Aid cameras like I did when I was 9, 'cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple 'cause it feels like a lie. We'd play Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much, 'cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime.
Oh my goodness.
Years go by, the time it flies,
Oh.
we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime.
Apparently, not a either or sort of situation. You're either deleting the cache directory or the global directory, because both of them just exit after they do their thing. So if you specify clear cache at all, it never even bothers to clear the global cache. It would explain why things are still there. Explains. Alright, so this is the thing that I'm curious about now. If I look at dev, should give me a different baster. Yep. This baster is bar www. And I'm willing to take the hit on a little bit of extra time for reading everything under Docker, but not this much extra time. All right, so that was fast. So if we can get cache working, it may be acceptable. And so now we know. Oh. Okay, so cache Psalm. Wow. Okay, so this is actually clearing it. Level cache is for everything. For all projects. And so there's the cache there is really what I need to be clearing anyway. There should only be one cache there per per project, per host. So those other Psalms were from other projects. So okay, that makes sense. All right, so what is it about this file then that makes the scanning CWD R have to config require once. I wonder something happens with this. First autoloader run taint analysis.
I should have been a skater, maybe a heartbreaker, some kind of creator, simple money maker. I'm just a simple money maker.
Okay.
Time passing me by, I'm cold, but it's July, and I know to my disguise will melt off in a sunrise, and I know that it's designed for the sun to make me shine, but it feel like this time that my heart's been mummified.
I think this actually has no cache enabled, so that's why it's not doing any cache. Makes sense. Okay, so what we need to do is see if we can get Blackfire to run. I'm going to change this back to 3. Let's see if I'm guessing that config value was probably the hash of this file. or the hash of the contents of the config file. Which is how it knows it needs to scan the files again. Interesting. So the Docker version is scanning the files again. All right.
Mom, today sucked. I'm not feeling great. People all laughed and they call me names. Was it so tough and the world so lame? Can I have some cash and a ride down to the arcade?
Let's check style.
This morning blue, I stayed up till 2. People stare at me like I'm trapped in a suit. Was it so tough and the world so lame? Can I have some cash and a ride down to the arcade?
I wonder if there's something about the Docker file system that does not work right. Let me finish that.
I'm down on my luck, am I good enough? I'm searching for trust, do I look too much? Was it so tough and the world so lame? Can I have some cash and a ride down to the arcade? This evening blue,
Continued calls, so this should still work. Oh,
around with my thoughts of you. Was
it looks like my webcam is frozen.
Can I have some cash
That's awesome.
down to the arcade? Some cash and a ride down to the arcade. Can I have some cash?
Wonder how long that's been the case.
Can I have some cash and a ride down to the arcade?
Hmm. I've been having a lot of issues with my nicer Logitech camera lately, and I might have to just not use it anymore. I don't know if it's Big Sur or something, but even when I look at it now, I can tell it's kind of stuttery, whereas this one is nice and smooth. So I might just use this for now. Although I wish I could have better control of the light quality. But at least you can see me now. All right, so this one ran in however long. I guess we don't get to see. Run again and see if it goes quicker. Yeah. Bin Bow Psalm. What does it even care? What could it possibly be looking at that matters what the actual command is? The code shouldn't even know. From what I can tell, I mean, it's being stripped. So, what's the point? Hey, Jaloops just jumped in and asked what we're working on. I'm still trying to figure out Psalm and why it's whack, yo. Just to give an example here, if I run regular Psalm with output check style, it returns almost immediately. If I run Bow Psalm, it has to do the whole song and dance, scanning files and whatever. In fact, it doesn't even end up working, which is just ridiculous because Bow Psalm is literally the same as regular Psalm. Where'd it go?
Don't you know that I'll be here for you? Till we got nothing left to do. Tell a couple jokes and enjoy the view. I'll be here for you.
There we go. So this is Bow Psalm, and this is other one, the original. The only difference is this part. Let's see if that does it. Nope. So the only difference, as far as I can tell, is the require line. Psalm's require line, the core one, expects it to be in the same directory as psalm.php. My version just expects it to be slightly different. So really, I'm actually going to change this. Vendor bin Bow Psalm. I'll just pretend that doesn't exist anymore. Bow Psalm. And we'll do I don't need this directory separator thing. There we go.
I drive down in a flash. 2 hands on the whip won't crash. Changing lanes so quick with blush. Twist and turn so drastic, life feels like a Tarantino. Don't know where it ends.
This should still work. Yeah. So the trick is trying to figure out why this doesn't work. Why does it matter the file that is called when the files do the exact same thing? As we can even see, We do vendor bin Psalm and O Psalm. We'll see that the values of the cache directories are the same. So they're really, and the baster is the same. I really don't understand why there's any difference. So what I'm going to do is check if there's any other instances of argsv, because when we look at Psalm itself, it's doing something with args here. It's slicing argv, but if something else is looking at argv, that could be a problem. Then what? Why does anything else care about that? Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? What? Oh my goodness. Well, this is the problem. All right, so current dir of dogs. So Psalm dir so var www vendor Vimeo Psalm var www vendor Vimeo Psalm. Okay, so those are the same. We aren't running in a var if auto load roots. Both cases that happens. Autoload your name, autoload root. Okay. Alright, get vendor dir. That's all good. All right, so get arguments. How you doing tonight, Jalus? Didn't get it at all. This is not a thing to really worry about. Paths to check. This could potentially be alright, path to check is empty. And path to check is not empty. Why? So if there are paths, right, so F paths is empty. Is it empty here? It is. Huh. So, oh, it's this fun stuff. Why would this matter? This, I get it. So this is why. So if we actually specify yeah, okay. That's the check. That makes sense. And there, okay. I think this is a bug. I think that this should actually be handled in the same way. Get arguments as Psalm does. All right, so let's actually write this down. This is in command functions. I don't actually know why. Has to check. But I don't know why this was. Unless it somehow strips out Psalm and Psalter. Otherwise, I may already be doing that. And since let's look at RD, where else it's used. Get arguments. No, it's not doing that. Okay, so let's see if we can find more. Home language, no. Args, let's see where else Args is used. Array map. Array values. Well, I'm not going to worry about that for now. Get paths to check. What else do we have in here? Oh. Alright, so vendor calculating initialize config. Disable extensions, threads, location, generate stubs. Let's see where that is living. Stubs location is empty. So it's still doing that, so I need to reinstate that before I forget. There we go. these are both super fast now.
Can you feel me now?
Interesting. So this does fix that. It speeds it up and it fixes it. Belleeps wants to know what song this is, and it's Feel Me from Cage, spelled with a K. I've been I signed up for Monster Cat Gold so that I can play music in the background so that I don't get my streams blocked. So yeah, I'm streaming through their catalog, so you can probably find all this stuff on Spotify. I think Spotify has all of the Monster Cat stuff as well. All right, so I feel like this is progress because we're getting something else to run correctly. So now, if I run vendor bin Psalm,
Can you feel me now?
With a specific file, sales notifiable. This gives me an error that makes me happy. Well, not super happy, but at least it's behaving in a consistent way, which it had not been doing prior to this. So I like that. Okay, so if these still run, that's good. Here's what I'm thinking. I need to figure out what part of code cares about this. So let's see what get paths spec. It's fine. No usage in product. So let's get paths to check. If is set option F. What is options F? Okay. That's good. So pass the check is what we're looking for, but what is options F? How does that get set? Must be short options. I think it was in command functions. File. I don't really know the get-opt stuff very well, but I'm guessing the F must just be the files to look for. Let's see, valid short options, valid long options. Valid long options. let's just deal with that for now then. So path to check. So let's see where this is used next. The path. Okay, so this is a branch, which is good. This means that if there's paths to check, this call works just fine. Or if there isn't anything to check. So this is the standalone case where you're running the whole project. So then we'll do individual files. And we'll see if this actually checks out. So print R. Switch this. If this is right, this should say individual files. Yep. And whole project. Awesome. Okay, so this branch is fast, this branch is slow, and that's actually where our differences lie. So check path, or check is come out with an empty baster, start scanning files, no files. All right, so this is actually reference cache, code base, diff method, reduce project directories, the diffs in the file there. So it's still scanning files. So it's just so complicated. Because it analyzes them. Alright, and then the other version of this is check paths. So add files to shallow scan, extra files, checking path, isdir. I think what we're looking for is something between these. And a report option. Not detect unused class of project. Run on the full project to enable complete unused code detection. Okay. So run on the full project to enable completed unused code detection.
Catch my breath. Yeah, I gotta slow down. 'Cause when you're near, everything that I planned just goes away. We said that we were gonna take it slow, move carefully, and give it time to grow. We said that we were gonna wait, but I just want it right now. I just want it right now.
All right, so see what these extra files are. There are no extra files. So I can just click and enable debug. Oh, I don't think I can maybe do debug with text style output. Oh dear, show snippets. Output. Oh, wonder if no progress is set. Long progress. Wonder if my die is getting in the way here.
One by one, the memories burn. What's done is done, but I kept the hurt. In the dark, my mind's your so time undoes and fills the holes. The color's been draining from my veins. Losing my sight in your sun days. Losing my sight, losing my sight.
All right, so check Psalm. Oh, files.
Day by day, I watched you fade into the truth that you've been hiding, leaving me blind while your sun kept shining. I lost my heart within the maze of the you I thought I knew, was beating red hot, now stone cold blue. The color's been draining
That's
from
not
my
looking.
veins.
You're slow.
Losing my sight in your sun days. Losing my sight, losing my sight. Losing my sight, losing my
So it looks like Psalm internal analyzer. All right, so I want to see what the difference is between this function and the other function. All right, so both deal with the base dir. No. Well, check definitely needs the base dir then. If files, deleted files, reference cache. If methods is diff. File reference, load reference cache is false. Is diff defaults to false? That actually gets reference. Doesn't do anything with it. And diff files. Interesting. Start scanning files. Jaluk says, I keep stepping away and still have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. So, Psalm is a static code analyzer. And it's extremely unstable in my environment for some reason. If I clear the cache, it seems to be taking a long time. and run it again from scratch on the entire project, it actually came back really fast. Wow. That's not even right. No files analyzed. Ah. So my fix here isn't a fix. It is interesting because this seemed like it was the fix before. But I think it was a symptom of the underlying problem. So the first time I run this, it scans the whole project and takes a little while. If I run this same exact command again, it'll return almost instantly, even in Docker, which is nice. However, without my fix in place, any other way of trying to call this is kind of difficult. So I'm going to call it again, and ta-da! Super fast. Awesome. But if I try to run Psalm, it's going to try to scan all of the files again, because it's doing some magic stuff to detect the fact that not actually the right file name that's being called. So it's not actually Psalm being called, it's Psalm. So that changes the behavior. And it changes the behavior to this broken thing where if I specify an actual file, it has to scan everything again, and then even though it scans it again, it still craps out. So the only fix for this is to delete the cache and run it again. So clear cache. And now if I run it, I believe it works, but it still has to scan it. But at least after it scans everything, it doesn't die. It takes a little while longer to go through. So it's just been a real pain to try to work with, because I can never tell when it's actually working versus when it's not. So I thought that we could maybe fix it by removing the first argument from argv, which is the name of the script you're running. But it does not appear like that's actually the case. The real problem is that anytime there's another file found, it causes an issue. So if I run this again, even though, yeah, so it's going to go through the whole process again, which is super annoying, because it shouldn't have to. It's already done the scanning. And what it comes down to is inside Psalm, there's a branch point that if any files are passed on the command line, if there aren't any files, then it does the whole project. This is fast. While it's slow the first time, and then it's fast. But this branch, where if there are files to check, then it goes into check paths instead of check. And this one's slow. This is the one that does all of the slowness. So at least it's not crashing, but it's also not actually doing anything useful. I think, curious to see if I do another file, if this is going to crash now, or if it's going to be fine. So it's going to do the whole scanning. And my guess is that Okay, so it didn't find any errors, so it looked in the one file, which is awesome. But it's still slow. And if I run the whole project, it's still going to scan all of the files. I believe it's going to cache some things. Running this command again after the cache is built will be super fast. But trying to run either of the previous two commands, either on the specific file for kernel or for sales notifiable, I believe these are now going to fail. It's still going to have to scan them all, and then it crashes. So I can no longer do anything. I can no longer run Psalm on any other file and have it work until I clear the cache. Yeah, so Loops just said scan the kernel, and so yeah, so that's what I did here. So in both cases, sales notifiable and in kernel, they're both failing. There was a little delay there on the video stream. So yeah, and this behavior that's taken 2.5 hours to get to the point where I understand why this is failing. I mean, I understand the rules that lead to this failing. But until I spent 2.5 hours looking at this, it just seemed very arbitrary. That sometimes I'd run the command and it would work. Sometimes I'd run the clear cache command and then everything would work for a little while, and then all of a sudden it would break again and I have to clear the cache. It was super annoying. So that's pretty much why I'm digging into this, to see if I can figure out what's going on. So ultimately, what I need to do is try to figure out what the difference is between check, which is what is called for running the whole project, versus check paths, which is called on when you specify a path. So far, Baster isn't even used for check paths, which is pretty frustrating. I think that is probably going to need to change. It's adding files to shallow scan. If there's check paths, that makes sense. So what I'm thinking about doing is trying to see if, probably figure out what this does. Force reload is true. It's using reference cache. And then if it's a diff and there's a reference cache and the cache provider exists and it can diff files, what it does is it looks for deleted files, and then for all of the project directories, it gets more diff files. So it tries to diff files in each directory. So it does this all before it starts scanning. And if we look in the check paths version, none of that happens. It loads the reference cache, doesn't even save the reference cache, it just loads it, and then it starts scanning files. So I think, let's see, where's Baster used? Can't work in an empty Baster. Baster isn't even used. So I don't understand why it can't work without a Baster. That's kind of a non-issue. So we don't need to worry about adding Baster, but we might need to add his diff. So let's go ahead and go to command, no, big There we go. So check paths. So before you visit autoload files, load reference cache. So we're going to default to isDiff false for now, just to be consistent, but we're going to pass in the command line isDiff, because I think the default from the command line then is true. So this will make sure that that behavior is working as expected. So let's do before start scanning files. Let's actually copy this as well. Reference cache. Yeah, let's get it all. I suspect we're going to need it. This visit autoload files happens later in the process. Load reference cache. Move this down here. Alright, so this makes sense. If we're diffing and there is a reference cache and the cache provider can diff files, we're going to ask for diffed files and deleted files. But we're able to use those later. So diff number, diff no files, let's see here. So if diff files equals null, so if there were no files to diff, or if there were no deleted files, or if the number of files that were different was greater than 200, then this is going to scan everything. Otherwise, it's going to do something different. So walk through here. So add files to shallow scan. So I think these we don't need. I don't think right now we're just initializing plugin, visit preload stub files and scan files. Visit stub files, start analyzing files, scan files. Okay, so visit preload stub files, scan files, and infer types from usage. Alright, so I'm going to copy up here what we were doing originally. Alright, so visit autoload files, we're still doing. And initialize plugins, we're still doing. Visit preload stub files, yes. Scan files, yes. Visit stub files. So let's mark this. And then start analyzing files. So that must come later. We'll mark these both as stuff that we were doing previously that we're not doing now. And then I don't really know. Add external errors. Add files to shallow scan extra files. So this is already being done.
Let's go.
Okay, so this makes sense that this is almost identical to what we were doing otherwise, because this is the no cache version. So on this side, we're going to see that there are diff files. So add files to show results. If there are files that are different, a diff, deleted files, file list. Plus plugins, visit. Okay, so this is the workflow that plugins, visit preload stub files, and files. Okay. Check diffs with config.
We've had enough of this nonsense.
Analyzing, do we have that up here? Yeah, so these are the same ones that we kept out earlier. So, yeah. So up to this point, everything is accounted for in the same way. Files. I guess the difference is that if it's a diff, these are added. I'm going to move that out of up here. Okay. So of the stuff that we did, initialize plugins, visit preload stub files, scan files. So we haven't yet visited stub files, and we didn't yet start analyzing.
We've had enough of this nonsense.
All right, so okay, so this is where we pick up some of the stuff that we just commented out. So if there are no files diffed, then we want to visit the stub files. So that's this thing here that we had commented out. So it's now accounted for. After code base populated, then it dispatches something, and then it starts analyzing files. All right, so now we're back to here. So analyze files. These are threads. Alter. Find unused code equals always. I'm going to leave that way. And then I think this might be the final piece. After analyzing the files, this is where something comes in with the cache. So if cache provider, parser cache, remove parser files. So delete old parser caches. Strong's home version. Maybe that's what we're looking at here. And touch parser caches. Interesting. All right, let's see what happens now. Yeah, it's just gonna break. Awesome. Okay, did I get file storage for app kernel file service provider 44? Okay. Check paths, project analyzer, analyze files. Okay, so there's something specifically about I'm gonna comment these out. Start checks. Okay, so missed a variable somewhere. Alright. Okay, so this is positive-ish, except that it's not actually working. So something here is giving us a problem. Although it's possible that start checks thing was the problem. Okay. Did not get file storage. So we can figure out what's going on with that. Now I would hate to think that the fix is to clear the cache, because that sort of defeats the purpose. My guess is there's something else going on here now. While that's running, let's see what we can see. So check dir with config. Is dir add files to analyze. Is in project dir. I think maybe that's something here. Interesting. But it does look like it scanned everything, though. And it's still scanning all the files. Under okay, so we are getting his diff as true. There are things that we commented out, so directory. So this is probably...
I'm stuck inside of these walls with you. I don't recognize.
Okay, so there are no diffs.
I'm losing hope in getting myself back.
Add files.
Everything around me is starting to turn black.
Okay, did we comment out something? Because what is it doing with diff files? It was supposed to be doing something. What does it do? If diff files, file list, array diff. Reference files from diff. What does it do with file list? Diff files with big. Okay, so I think maybe vector with, what does that do? Let's just, oh my, allow non-project files. Okay, so that's important. Diff files with big. So I think what's going on here is we need to trigger these files we need to trigger these files to be treated as if they are diffs. Vector with big. Because this should be, these are external files, but the diff is only being picked up if It's using diff no files. Anything? Okay. So it's only going in here if diff files is null, which is true. But that should be never true, because we always want to use this branch. So if it's not trying to do anything with the cache at this point. When really we always wanted to do this. If diff file. Diff files equals it's maybe completely wrong. So no differences. Still no differences. Deleted files. No. Ow.
Lovers turn to strangers, but they stay fools. I'll break the chains, take the pain to save you.
Okay, so I think it's probably because reference cache is null. Since we've cleared the cache. Oh, reference cache is true. Project cache provider. Wow, I just went into VI mode there for a second. Yowza. Project cache provider.
It's better if I let you go. You'll be better off.
One of these is false. And diff files. Why is that false? Unknown. Right. Not going to worry about that. Alright, so no matter what, at this point, actually, no, let's do worry about that. was that? File exists. Okay, so yeah, the cache directory has to exist, and there has to be a good run name. So this makes sense. So the first time through, dump this instead of DD. We end up here with no differences. Make sure that's the case. All right, so guessing after this run, we should end up with something that says can diff files. Alright, so let's see here. So if I run it again, I'm expecting can diff files to be true. Oh, interesting. Alright, so whatever's happening is resulting in this file not existing. Okay, so I wonder if it happens in this event dispatcher. So, scan files. At last run. Process successful.
Looking back, all the things I miss the most, it all comes into focus. You're not around. Ooh, when you're gone, it's like everywhere I look reminds me I can't shake these memories. Yeah. I swear summer got a bit shorter when time flies looking over my shoulder. I fall for you when it gets colder. Finally you believe it's over. Trust me, oh I'm not the only. I've never been lonely. There was someone else.
Parser cache provider. Sure. That's project cache provider, parser cache provider. Oh, definition. So I guess it's issue buffer. It is full. Ugh. Seems like it's not even getting there. Oh, Jaloops. RM-RF Psalm. You know, I was thinking that I don't want to be too down on this because there's a ton of work done here. Just, man. I am quite guilty of over-engineering. Like, I'm really good at it. But this is just, wow. Wow. Alright, so it didn't try to save anything, apparently. What happens if I do the other path? Do the other path and it stores everything, then I don't know. I think it might need to be time for me to call it a night. There's definitely room for, yeah, see, there's something about the check workflow that made sure this got called that the other workflow didn't. I don't know what I've missed. Visit auto-load files, add to shallow scan, add to deep scan, plugins, visit scan for types. I wonder if that's the difference.
50% of the enforcers have been knocked down.
Oh, go back to that first one.
Activating. Serial number. The revolution is imminent. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think the other thing for me to keep in mind is I'm trying to do stuff with code that I have no idea what's going on. So I think that's probably a good chunk of why this is so difficult, because I don't understand anything I'm looking at. But if I'm not dispatching this event, I'm guessing that might be... Oh, I was. Okay. So we know that's true. Awesome. So start analyzing. Analyze files. This thread's codebase alter code. That's the one difference here. Oh. That's not good. Move this dispatching. Thing for introspect dump. It didn't matter. Alright, so I think I'm going to call it a night. This has been a really long 3 hours trying to make some headway here, and I'm a little afraid that it doesn't matter what I've learned tonight, because I'm not going to remember it tomorrow, much less the next time I come back to do this code. So, but it was a good learning process. I think that at the very least I probably have enough information to create a GitHub issue for Psalm to say, hey, what's up? It seems as though if I specify a path, it never uses the cache, and I can very clearly replicate the problem that if I build the whole cache using just Psalm without a file, the cache works great after the fact, but as soon as I try to specify a specific file within the package, that will not work. It will cause the entire project to be scanned again, and then I get the class storage error. So I think I have that locked down. So looks like there's at least a couple of people here watching tonight. Thank you for joining. It's my son's birthday on Thursday, so I need to remember to cancel my upcoming Twitch stream on Thursday night. But I may be on again, off and on, over the week, doing some fun stuff. So thanks again for joining, and looking forward to doing more code later. Thanks. Bye.